Hello everyone and welcome back to another Game Guru Max related video. To be honest, much sooner than I would have expected. Also thanks to you guys, because you've been commenting quite a lot under my last video, which I really appreciated. So I was basically, done with Game Guru Max after my first video. But yesterday I was playing a game on Steam called SCP-5K. It's made with Unreal Engine 5, I think. And everyone who knows SCP probably knows what I'm talking about. You know, hallways and stuff, creepy monsters, and very, very good shooting mechanics. You know, the gunplay is really great in this game. And as I was playing this game, I was thinking like, oh man, I want to do this too. Like, I want to have those lighting effects, you know, flashlight shadows and ground reflections and all that stuff. So somehow it spawned the will in me to get my hands on Game Guru Max again and try it out for real, you know, not only commenting about the landscape, but rather actually trying something with it. After all, I paid money for it, like everyone else did, and I feel like the comments you have written on the last video really encouraged me to take a deeper look at Max again. And as you can see, this right here was the first screenshot I took yesterday afternoon. And I wanted to, you know, sort of recreate my Spaceman Entity Labs game a bit. Spaceman Entity Labs was a game I made for the Game Guru contest last year. I think it was sometime in summer. Maybe I'm wrong though. And I thought it would be a great project to get started with Game Guru Max because it is indoors only. It has no terrain, no trees, you know, no outside stuff at all. And this would be a great practice to, you know, see how Max works. And it took me a while to figure out how to import assets, but I must admit the importer that Game Guru Max has is actually really versatile and cool to use. So it's really easy to import assets from Sketchfab, for example. And Sketchfab has a huge library of really high quality assets, and that's really cool. So gotta give credit to this. It's the importer is really cool. So let's take a look at the next screenshot I took. In this screenshot I was really unhappy with the lighting. You know, it's really bland, and the whole scene is kinda Gordon Ramsay would say it's so bland. You know, I didn't do the impression quite well, but you know what I mean. So let's take a look at the next one. So now I have dimmed down the lighting a lot, changed the color of the lighting, and what I also think is really cool is that you can set a lot of stuff in Game Guru Max. You know, the settings are there are a lot of settings and a lot of different outcomes, you know, when it comes to these settings. And once you get, I had to change my mind, my mindset a bit. You know, I was coming from Game Guru Classic, and I was thinking, oh man, this is nothing like Game Guru Classic, and I was about to wander off, but think of Game Guru Max as like a new engine, and then you can learn and, you know, learn the new workflow of Game Guru Max, because it's an entirely different workflow compared to Game Guru Classic. So in this scene, as you can see, I was already making use of the dynamic lighting and shadows, and I added these 4 pillars to the scene. and I think it looks really cool. Let's look at the next one. So I think with this screenshot I played around with auto exposure, and I added some lights to the Spaceman Entity Lab sign, also the plants, and as I was playing around with all the settings, you know, emissive textures and all that, I was really thinking, wow, this is actually pretty decent and it looks really good, I think. You know, not fuzzy at all like the trees. And this is the next one. So I was finding out that you can have planar reflections, I think it's called, in Game Guru Max, and that's actually awesome. Wow. So I was really impressed with this one. And yeah, let's not look at the screenshots anymore. Let's get into the actual game, and I want to, you know, point out some stuff I really liked about Game Guru Max. I can't believe I'm making this video. I was really, you know, not happy with Max and how it's going. But your guys' comments and, you know, the inspiration that came from that SCP game really changed my mind a bit. And I think this is a really moody scene already. So the plan is to remake my SCP Spaceman game inside Game Guru Max. And I have already the audio in, as you can hear maybe. And I'm a big, you know, weapon guy. I always like to have custom weapons and stuff. And I found out that BSP has an optional download for his older weapon packs as well, for Game Guru Max. And those weapons can come with a surface texture. That's really cool. So I can get weapons without having to worry about the surface map, and, you know, without having to use the stock maps. Weapons, I mean. So to improve the overall look of this scene, I made this wall a bit shiny, you know. I edited the roughness slider, and I think it's a really cool scene already. I like it a lot. And also the shadows are really cool. You know, under the hood, when you don't look at the ugly terrain and trees Game Guru Max has, Game Guru Max at its core could be really powerful, you know. And I gotta admit, I'm hooked. Now I'm hooked, and I just want to continue to build this level and game. For this scene it took me about 2.5 hours, I think. Of course I was looking around a lot and finding stuff out, how Max works. And yeah, the importer is really cool. So this is a room I want to add next. So this is a really small level only. It's only this room and this hallway. But I'm very happy with it. So these planar reflections, they are really cool. Those reflections. For my Spaceman game, it was made in Game Guru Classic, and we don't have reflections in Game Guru Classic. So for the standalone I have used Reshade. And the Reshade had sort of like a ray tracing style reflection effect on the ground. And that made it look really cool also. I also encountered some issue while making this level yesterday, and I will continue to build this level today. This vending machine right here really gave me some headache, because I found out that if you don't apply textures when you import a model, Max tends to not save them when you have edited the model after, you know. I only had the color map assigned, and I wanted to you know, manually add the emissive texture right here after I have done the importing. And I kept changing it, and it always reverted back to the normal one. And this was really frustrating because I had no idea why it didn't save. So I imported the model again, assigned all textures, and there you go, now it works. So I found out that definitely there are quite a lot of bugs in Game Grow Max at the moment. You know, and they are, I hope they are all reported, and I asked around in the Game Guru Max Discord about, you know, emissive textures not being saved, and they also knew what I was meaning, so this is a known issue and I hope it will be fixed. And also with the planar reflections, as you can see, if I move in a certain angle, there's definitely something wrong here, as you can see. So this is an empty area. So let's check out the tap settings a bit maybe. For this level I totally turned down the lighting color and the ambient color. All lights you see are coming from actual light sources. And I also added fog, which is here again, yeah, exactly, to make the distance darker. And I could also lower the camera distance a bit. So FOV height I have quite low at 60 for my screen ratio. And I also use this LUT right here, which is really nice. LUTs are also a pretty cool improvement for Game Grow Max. Here I will stick to this one. And the post-processing. Okay, so in this level I actually get almost 200 FPS. You know, there's not much going on, it's an empty level still. There are enemies missing and a lot of assets are missing, but 200 FPS, that's pretty decent. And I enable bloom, you know, to enhance the light effects a bit. Reflections are totally sick. A bit buggy still, but you know, this scene lives off the reflections basically. Without the reflections it's only half as cool. So FXAA is self-explanatory. Ambient occlusion is really strange in Game Grow Max because it only applies like a shadow to the whole scene. Let's look at here. You know, the whole scene sort of gets darker. So I hope there will be more ambient occlusion methods coming to Max, because the current one is really unsatisfying. And also in the comments after under the last video, someone mentioned that the ambient occlusion doesn't get applied to vegetation and trees. I mean the grass, you know, the grass. So this should be a thing too. Okay, and for this scene I really turned up the shadows to have a 2K resolution, and I think it looks really cool. So this is me. Finally getting my head around Game Guru Max and actually enjoying it for the first time. There are a lot of different aspects, you know, scaling and all that tiny stuff you do when creating a level. And it's much more like Unity than it is like Game Guru Classic, I think. And if you can change your mindset and get that thought away from, you know, I'm using improved Game Guru Classic version. That's not the case. This is like an entirely new engine. And I'm happy that I finally can build a level in Max that actually looks decent. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. I will be very interested in your thoughts. Okay, so that's it for this video, and maybe we will see us again soon in Game Guru Max. Take care everyone. Bye bye.